building a high performance team, strategies for success. And I know that high performance teams make the difference in organizations. And today we have decided to ensure that what it takes to build a high performance teams, business owners become aware of them in case they are not aware. Business owners can become aware of what it takes to build high performance teams. We would also be looking at the nitty gritties, the tools, and everything we need to build high performance teams. I want to know, can you see my slide, please? I am trying to share my slides so we can join. Okay. Please, if you can see my slides, someone should just say, yes, I can.
Yes, I
Can
can.
somebody? Okay, beautiful. So we'll be looking at building high performance teams, strategies for success. And I feel really excited. Excited because I know what it means to have a high performance team in your organization. I know how much your business depends on your team to be able to grow. And beyond that, I know how much the economy, how much your community, how much your country depends on your business for it to thrive. And if your economy depends on your business for it to thrive, and you depend on your workforce for your business to thrive, then it means that it becomes important that we look at how and why we should build a high performance team. But before I jump in, as we've already welcomed everyone, but I would like for us to tell us why we are here today. If you could just tell us why we're here. Why are you here? Not like I do not know, but I do not want to assume. So I want everyone who is here for the webinar today to drop in the chat box why they are here. So can you please tell us why you're here today? Why are you here? I want to look at our responses in the chats. Let's see why you are here. You can just drop your responses in the chat box. Why did you join today's webinar? Did you join because you just love Otis Keepers, or you join because of some other reasons? That very reason is important to us. Why are you here today? Okay, someone says she's here for personal growth. Coach Bongi, you're welcome, and I am hoping you would get all you need today for your personal growth. Okay, someone is saying to learn about new and positive ideas. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Joseph, for that. Someone is also saying, I want to learn how to build an effective team in my organization. That's awesome. That's why you are here. Can we have a few more reasons why we are here before we go in quickly? A few more reasons why we are here, and then we jump in immediately. Why are we here? Okay. Let's have why we're here, please. Share with us, why are you here? Could it be my network that is stopping the responses from coming in? Okay, so While you type in why you are here, let me once again welcome you and tell you um, that the reason why you're here will be achieved. And I can guarantee that. Someone said is to learn all the tools I need to build a resilient team in my business. Okay, beautiful. Okay, thank you so, so much for those wonderful responses. We'll just go straight on. So, and by way of introduction, I'll start by telling us something quite profound I have discovered. It says the success and growth of any organization is directly proportional to the quality of the individuals within the organization, and of course, their collective performance. Thank you so much for your responses. They are coming in. Someone is saying they want to check how to harness their staff's potential to grow their businesses. Kali Solomon, thank you so much for that response. So success and growth of any organization is directly proportional to the quality of the individuals in that organization, and of course, their collective performance. If what we're trying to say precisely here is like telling you, show me the quality of staff you have, and I will tell you how well your business is doing. Show me how well your team is performing, and I'll tell you exactly how well your business is doing. So you can't grow your business, you can't grow an organization when you do not have quality people in that organization. And being a performance-based organization, one that is passionate about helping businesses grow and helping businesses, do well, we have seen that there's a serious responsibility upon the individuals in the organization and the people that make the team for the business to grow. And that is why we're bringing this, because we've also found out too that some businesses are not having it right when it comes to a performing team. There's an unknown saying here, saying from someone unknown, that great companies are built by employees who consistently deliver great performance. And then he says, in the journey to success, the performance of each employee is like a stepping stone that leads the organization forward. So what's the performance of your employees? Are you happy with their performances? Are their performances leading you forward, taking you forward? If it is not, if you're still having headaches and worries with your workforce, with your employees, you are in the right place today. I don't know if anyone here knows Simon Sinek, one wonderful author. I've read quite a number of his books. He said something here, that it is not the genius at the top giving directions that makes people great. It is the great people that make the guy at the top look like a genius. Are you a manager? Are you a business owner? Are you a founder? Are you a CEO, a managing director? It is not you sitting at the top and giving directions that will make people great, but it is actually the people in your team that can make you at the top to look like a genius. Can you imagine that? But that is what Simon Sinek is saying. So it becomes pertinent that we begin to look again critically and not trivialize the concept of, performance in your organization, and in this case, team performance. And I call it the game changer. Team performance, I call it the game changer. And because it's the game changer, we've brought you this very webinar today. But before we go ahead, one other thing that made this webinar today very, very timely and needed is this research, some research we found out. And I would like to share some of them with us. So an Oxford review of a study of 831 businesses around the globe found that employees on average, oh my God, they tend to spend only 47% of their time working within teams. Can you beat that? They actually come to work, but that's 100% of time that you expect them to spend and give you the results you want. They spend only 47% of it working, even though they're at work. So it becomes a case of something I heard Brian Tracy say sometime back when I was listening to him, that there are people who come to work, but they do not work. Now, another study revealed that at least 66% of the teams are underperforming. By the way, you brought them in to give you certain level of results. You brought them in because somewhere in the scheme of things, you figured out you need XYZ staff, number of staff, to give you the results you want to take your business or your organization to where you want it to go. But at the end of the day, you have these people that you, at the end of every month, will have to pay them their salaries. But then this study is revealing that 65 or 66% of them are underperforming. That's serious. I think this should interest you as a business owner. And if that is interesting to you, then it means you should sit tight, hold your pen, get your jotters or whatever it is you want to use to get some notes down with, because some important strategies will be shared today. So what then is in today's webinar? It's actually beautifully packaged for you. Today we'll be looking at, okay, I'm just seeing something here. Someone is saying that these statistics would even be much worse in Nigeria. Well, that is why we are here. Thank you so much for that comment. Okay, so this webinar has been beautifully packaged for you, and these are the things that we'll be looking at today. 3 major areas or 3 major modules. We'll be looking at understanding high performance teams. You need to understand what it means when we say a team is a high performing team. We'll also be looking at the strategies for building a high performance team. We'll share with you some of the things you need to begin to look at doing in your organization to help you build a high performance team. And we won't stop there. We know that you could build it and lack the ability to sustain it. So we'll also be showing you how you can develop, how you can sustain a culture of high performance in your organization. That's what we'll be looking at today. And all of this is beautifully put with love to you today. And we'll be showing you the key elements that contribute to high performing teams. We'll be providing you with strategies, and the rest of all what you have seen here will be given to you today. So we'll just dive straight in. Understanding high performance team. Understanding high performance team. And there's no better way to understand it than going to the roots of it to define what high performance team really means. And the same Oxford Review defined it simply by saying that a high performance team is one that exceeds all reasonable expectation and produces extraordinary results. Let me ask you this question. Are your employees exceeding reasonable expectations? Are your employees exceeding expectation? Are your employees giving you extraordinary results? Please, can everyone hear me, please? Can everyone hear me? If you can hear me, let me be sure. I just saw a comment in the chat box saying network. Let me be sure you can hear me. Okay. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, thank you. I just want to be sure you can hear me. Okay, so I'm asking the question, are your employees producing or exceeding expectation with their performance in your workplace? Are they giving you extraordinary results? If they are not, then you're dealing with a team that is not a high-performing team. It says a high-performance team is one that exceeds all reasonable expectations and produces extraordinary results. There is another one I got from Wikipedia. It says a high performance team can be defined as a group of people with specific roles and complementary talents and skills aligned with and committed to a common purpose, who consistently, please, I want you to, note that word, consistently. They consistently show high levels of collaborations and innovation. They produce superior results. Please underline and note the word superior, and extinguish radical or extreme opinions that could be damaging in the system. The high performance team is regarded as a tight-knit, focused on their goal, and have supportive processes that will enable any team member to surmount any barriers in achieving the team's goals. So you set up a business, you're managing an organization, and there is a set of goals you want to achieve. There's a set of objectives the business wants to achieve, maybe for in the short term or probably in the long term. And every member of the team is brought in to contribute in one way or the other to help the organization achieve those objectives. And then you have this team with you, and the minimum is not achieved, let alone what will take us where we are going. So it becomes important that we look at this concept of building a high performance team. So what then makes a high performance team, or what are the characteristics you see that makes you say this is a high performance team? Now, because we're talking about a team, we can't talk about a team without talking about the people in the team. It's like you can't talk about Arsenal as a team without talking about the individual players in Arsenal. They are so important to the team such that by the time one person jumps ship by leaving one football team to the other, becomes a global news, and people begin to get scared for that very team because some key players have left the team. So the individuals that make up the team, we can't look at the characteristics of a team without looking at the individuals that make up the team. So looking at the characteristics that make up a team, or characteristics of a high performing team, we want to first look at, or we would be looking at the characteristics of the individuals that make up the team, and we'll also be looking at the characteristics of the organization, where of course the team belongs. So we'll just take them one after the other. So what are the individual characteristics, the people that make up a team? What characteristics should they have? And I would like you to use this as a yardstick for x-raying each person you have on your team. One, it says here they are focused on, such individuals focus on their goals and strive all the time to exceed expectation with high productivity. Do you have such persons in your team? They rise to every challenge. They keep positive mental framework. There's no negativity around them. They show consistent effort. You could see it in them. They have strong skill sets. You have organizations that have people, and the people are not there with the set of skills you need from them, or you desire that they have. They accept constructive criticism. Do you have such persons in your team who you would correct and they will come back to tell you thank you? Or you have the people that you correct, and then for 2 days, you just see the body language that this person is angry that you corrected him or her. They do not possess what it takes to form a high-performing team. Such persons look for professional growth and opportunities. Day in, day out, you see that they are looking out for means to, develop themselves. Like somebody said here today, that they are here to gain knowledge for personal growth. I can tell that if such a person is in a team, they will make one of the good persons we need in that very team. Now, they offer respect to all, they act like leaders, and they take initiatives. They understand the importance of goal alignment. They create healthy work-life balance for themselves. They take ownership, they take responsibility, and they're able to analyze the work before them and then create a work-life balance so that they don't hit you all the time with issues around their personal things and how that maybe the work is stopping them from having a good life. Whatever work it is they find themselves in, they find a way to create a healthy work-life balance for themselves. They take ownership of the work. They have great self-awareness. They understand their strengths and they understand their weaknesses. And they know how to make good use of their strengths and also know how to control their weaknesses. Those are people that we say are, they possess the qualities that make up a high-performing team. They set actionable goals, and of course, over time, you see them come time and time again to you to ask for feedbacks. So I don't know how many you have looked at here. I would like that whoever is listening to me now to take a good look at these qualities we have outlined for you and make a list of the workers you have in your organization and then begin to tick, how many of your workers possess all of these qualities? How many possess some? And if you are to rate them, in what percentage would you rate them? Because these are the qualities that high-performing individuals would have to be able to make you a high-performing team in your organization. Now, having seen the characteristics of the individuals in a team, or the characteristics they should have if they are high-performing, let's go straight on to look at the characteristics that a high-performing team in an organization should have. So, a high-performing team, they have clear shared goals tied closely to the team and organizational priorities. So you can't have a team without understanding the overall goal of the company and without everybody creating a unified understanding or a unified acceptance of this goal. Now they understand how individuals' work fits into the organization's mission. So as a team, each of them understand how each of their work contributes to the mission and the vision of the company. They have their defined roles and responsibilities. I would still take us back to maybe football as an example. So in a football team, you have those that are the strikers, you have those that are the midfielders, you have the goalkeeper, you just have all of those, you have the defenders and the rest of them. So in every team, there are roles. So you can't have a goalkeeper leave his post and then he wants to go and become a striker, for example. The moment he leaves his post, it means something will go wrong. And you can't have a striker leave his own position as a striker and begins to perform in another way or do something else entirely different from what he's been made to or he's expected to do on the team. So everybody comes in to perform a defined role. So the question I want to ask you today is, how defined or how well defined are the roles and responsibility of the people that make up your team? Because in my practice as a HR specialist, helping organizations to structure and all that, I get to see a lot of chaos in systems. You cannot specifically say this is the role of, or this is this person's role. In fact, some of the employees complain that they only know that they work here. They do not exactly know what their job role is. Today they are called to do this. The next day they are called to do something else. When you have such chaos in the system, you don't have that seamlessness you need for your team to perform, optimally. They communicate clearly and respectfully. They manage work and deadlines based on priorities. They trust and respect each other, within the team. And they celebrate success together, recognize contribution, and practice continuous learning. These are some of the characteristics of a high performing team. And in this case, is directly related to the structure and the organization within that very system. So the question to you is, how much of this do you already have in your system? If you do not have it, then you do not have a high performing team. You need to go back to the drawing board. But not to worry, we'll be sharing with you the strategies on how you can develop a high performing team. But before we go into looking at some of the strategies, we still want to look at within this model, the benefits of having a high performance, benefits of having a high performance team. Please, if you are there, kindly say a yes, yes for me in the chat box. Let me know you are still with me. And as you get to, as some points begin to come in and those points resonate with you, just indicate with an emoji so that we know that you're following us. Thank you so much. I've seen someone asking if the video will be shared. Yes, the recording will be shared, not the slide, unfortunately, but the recordings will be shared. But let's be sure you registered. The recording will be shared with those who registered for the webinars, because those are the people whose emails we have. So we'll be looking at the benefits of high performing team. What benefits do they bring to the table? Okay, so just like when we looked at the characteristics of a high performing team, and we said you can't look at the characteristics without looking at the characteristics of the individuals within the team, and of course the team itself being the business. Okay, so here we're going to be looking at the benefits of high performing team to the business and to the individual. So when we are talking about high performing team, the benefit is not only to the business, even though we want to help or encourage you to build high performing teams. We also have benefits to the individuals, but let's begin with the business benefits. So when you have a high performing team, there is increased productivity and efficiency. Good to go. There is also improved decision making and problem solving. It becomes very easy for the team to come together over any matter, and they're able to give you, the way forward on that very matter. There is enhanced creativity and innovation because the team is set up in a way that they want to always, come up with new ways of doing things and new avenues for making money for the business. So in fact, as a HR practitioner, when I sit down to interview candidates and a candidate sits in front of me and I ask them why they want to leave, why they left a particular organization, or why they are planning to leave the organization, and then you hear them tell you they are leaving the organization because the organization is no more doing well, I tend to look at them again, because the question that comes to mind is, if you were there and the organization is not doing well, what contributions did you make to make that organization do well? Because you become part of the organization. And if your organization is not doing well, you become part of that business. If it's not doing well, then it's as good as you not doing well. So when you have people in a business and they are consistently thinking creativity, thinking innovation, it will behove on them to sit back and notice where the business isn't doing well, and they come up with ideas, new ways of doing things to mitigate whatever risk that is about coming on top of the organization. In fact, if we understand the importance of having quality employees in our organization, we'll realize that a lot of the things that bring businesses down will be destroyed or will be, stopped if we can have quality team on board. Now, they also help to improve customer loyalty, customer satisfaction. They help bring us superior products and services so that we consistently sell and have, enterprise exchanging money. Then, of course, with high performance team, you can be guaranteed and assured that your business expansion and growth will be there. So these are the things that having a high performance team can bring to you. And then what about the individuals themselves, the employees? What would having a high performance team do to the individuals within the team? So a high performance team will help the individual in the team to grow, because high performance, of course, demands that employees are consistently learning and demands that they are consistently innovative and creative. And in the place of innovation and creativity, in the place of learning and development, people are growing, people are advancing, people are becoming more and more, knowledgeable in their fields, And when that happens, it goes on to give them higher job satisfaction. And with higher job satisfaction, there is increased motivation. With increased motivation, there are stronger relationships within the team. And when you have stronger relationships within the team, there is an improved work, and these people are able to create a work-life balance and overall well-being that helps them do well, And of course, such persons have a way of finding more meaning with work and life's overall success. So there is no use overflogging the issue here. The need for having a high performance team is both beneficial to you and to every employee you have in your system. So having said that, having looked at what a high performance team is, the characteristics for both the organization and the individuals, and then the benefits of having a high performance team, let's now look at some of the strategies for building a high performance team. And like one of my coaches would say, this is the cocoa of the matter. This is the cocoa of the matter. Please do not let your network throw you out at this point, because we're talking about the cocoa of the matter, strategies for building high performance team. If you're still with me, please say yes. Let me know I'm not alone. And the network can be very funny. Sometimes you keep talking. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so I've put together 10 step strategies for building a high performance team. 10 step strategies for building a high performance team. Thank you so much. Thank you. I can see we are following. So here are some of the steps, and we're going to be taking them one after the other. So let's look at the game changer for employee engagement being the big picture. For you to build a high performance team, people, please, it's very important that we create the big picture. You can't have a high performance team without having a big picture and without giving them a view of the big picture. Now, this is a saying by Alfie Kohn. He says, we learn most readily, most naturally, most effectively when we start with the big picture, precisely when the basics don't come first. So away from the way employers do these things. So you employ a cleaner and you tell the person your job is to clean, and you don't share the big picture with the person. They may not know exactly how they should clean, because if the big picture shows that probably this is the direction we are headed, maybe it will affect the way they will do the cleaning, So it's important that we share the big picture. I went to citing an example with a cleaner. I'm saying that it goes as low as that, But imagine where even the manager of a business, for a lot of SMEs, even the people they employ to manage the business, do not have an idea of the big picture. Now, what are they managing? So employers have them come in and you tell them do X, Y, Z, and you don't tell them how X, Y, Z is taking us or where it is taking us to. You cannot do that. So it starts from the big picture. So what is the big picture and how have you, cascaded the big picture? So to understand the big picture and get it right, you want to ask questions like, what does growth mean to us as a business? And these are questions you have to sit with your team to define. Some people would say, why do I share my vision with them so that they will steal my vision? But excuse me, you've brought them in to help you achieve your vision. If they don't know the vision, what would they be doing for you? And that is this is one of the major reasons why we have people on the team and they are aloof to what they're expected to do. What does growth mean to us? You have to sit with your team to, discuss this. What do we think we can accomplish in the coming year, in 5 years' time? How beautiful would we like to look in the future? How much can we increase sales and production? Where do we want to go? What concerns do we have about the company? You want to ask, and you want them to even tell you their own concerns. What tools do we need? What new, do we need more space? Do we need more resources? What additional perks or benefits do you need for us to do well? These are some of the questions you need to ask so that you and your team will be on the same page when it comes to the picture. So you have to know the big picture. And at every given time, understand how today's work contributes to the big picture, how this week's work contributes to the big picture, how this month's work, this quarter's work contributes to the big picture, and how each member of the team contributes to the big picture. That is a whole lot of work that every business owner must sit down to do. And then when you finish understanding the big picture, the next thing you must do is to organize for performance. It's one thing to have a big picture, and it's another thing entirely a different ball game to have the organization. By organization, I mean your systems now and structures. Is one thing to have the one that will help you achieve the big picture. And then we're saying here that there is no performance without organization. So how do you organize for the big picture? You want to ask questions like, what structure will match our aspirations and our big picture? What is the structure? Every big picture has its structure, corresponding structure. You cannot want to build a 3-story building and you give it a structure that can only carry a bungalow. Or you do not want to build a bungalow and by error you go and give it a structure or a foundation that is for a skyscraper. That is waste of resources, So every big picture has its corresponding structure. And the question you want to ask yourself is, do I have a big picture first? And if I do I have a corresponding structure? What policies? Every big picture has policies that will help it. What policies do you have? Are your policies helping your big picture, or you do not have any policy at all? What is our operating system? Are systems helping the big picture? How do we want to deliver results, and what do we want to be known for? When you sit down with your team and do the work of asking and answering these questions critically, you now know that you're organizing for performance. It's very important. Now, after organizing for performance, you want to define who you need on your boss. Who you need on your boss. This is the big picture. This is the structure I need for the big picture. Who do I need with me for the big picture? And we have this very interesting thing I tell employers all the time. It says, on the journey of entrepreneurship, who you take along with you does a lot in telling whether you would arrive at your destination and how well you will arrive. The person you take along with you will tell a lot. So who do you need on your bus? Who do you need? That manager, what kind of manager should he be to take you where you're going? That receptionist, what kind of receptionist should they be? That digital marketer, that salesperson, what kind of salesperson or digital marketer do they need to be? That admin staff, that HR manager, what kind of manager, HR manager should they be to take us where we are going? If they are not the persons with the right skill set to take you where you're going, and you have them in your organization, you don't have the right team. You don't have the right persons. So what are the kind of questions you need to ask and answer to be able to have a well-defined personality of the people that should be in your boss? So you want to ask questions like, what job are they coming to do? What experiences and qualifications do they need? And please, I want to sound something very, very, very loud here. That we do not just pick experience and qualification without sitting down to know how they complement the job that you're calling them to come and do. I see a lot of errors from business owners in that aspect. You want to understand critically what experiences and qualification match the roles you want to fill, the people you want to bring on your bus. And then you also want to check the knowledge. We call them the KSAs, the knowledge, the skills, and the attitudes they need to have. You want to be sure of the knowledge set, the skill set, and the attitude they must have, whoever they are. For every position you want to have in your organization, you must define all of this for each position. Now, what's competency framework? And at what level do they fall in for their roles? So for every role you want to fill in, there are competency levels, and you must be able to identify what competency level will give you the results you want. You can't be wanting a result that can only be achieved by maybe a 100% competency level manager, for example. And then maybe because you want to cut costs, you now give that responsibility to somebody who performs at a competence, maybe a 10% competency level, for example. You know, there's a mismatch there. So you find yourself screaming all the time with your manager over your manager, but you made the mistake of employing somebody with a competency level that is not enough to give you the results. Besides understanding their EQs and the KSAs, you must understand the competency level. So you must create a competency framework for your organization and know where everybody you need on your bus fits in. Please, if you're following, let me see your yes, yes. Let me see your emojis so that I know I'm not alone here. Let me see your yes, 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 if you're following. Okay, okay. Thank you. And another question you want to ask is, how do we make our organization a desired place to work for all the talents that we need? So remember, we said that entrepreneurship is a journey, and who you take along with you does matter. But then you need to also ask yourself this question. My workplace, is it a place that they desire to work? So you can't have a workplace and the workplace is not a place they are happy going to. You know, you also do not want to have that. You don't want to have a bunch of people who hate to show up every day. You don't want to have that. You want people that will be excited coming to work and excited working for you. So when you ask that question, it takes you to where you begin to ask, how do I make my organization an exciting place to work? How do I make myself a coveted employer so that people would want to work with me? That way, you know who you want, and then you make yourself attractive for the people that you want. That is the third step. Now, the next step is to set clear and challenging aligned goals. So here we're saying, if they do not know the results your organization needs from them, they will give you anything they can, and some will give you nothing. Please, who has ever employed workers who come in and deliver nothing? If you have ever, please just say yes in the chat box. Who has ever employed employees, or who has ever worked with people that come every day to work, but then they give nothing as results? Okay. Thank God I'm not the only one here. Yes, the Mompreneur Empire is saying yes. Thank you for that response. Any other person? Okay, thank you so much. So we are saying here, if they do not know the results your organization needs from them, a lot of these employees are very smart. They will give you anything they can give to you, just anything. And some of them are so bad that they will give you nothing. And guess the most painful part? At the end of the month, you must pay them. If you don't pay them, you'll be taken to court. Or maybe they would even threaten to take you to social media. You are owing them salaries. How sad that can be. So it now means that you have to understand at every given time, what results they are bringing in. And they know the results as well as you know the results that they are bringing in to the table. So how do you now make these results known? You want to start from your mission. What is our mission? What is our vision? And then what are our major objectives for this year, this quarter, this month? You cascade it. Begin with the big picture, cascade to the year, cascade to the quarter, cascade to the month. And of course, you ask questions like, what parts of the units have to, or what parts do the units have to contribute to the overall vision? So for that very vision, you want to know what the sales unit is bringing. You want to know what the production unit is bringing. You want to know how the admin contributes to that goal and what results they must bring in. You want to know what all the different units are bringing as contributions to the overall goal of the organization. You have to be very clear. If you do not know, they will give you just whatever it is they can. And mind you, they show up every day. And where you now have those very funny ones, they even show up and give you nothing. So you want to know what key results must each person bring in and what will stop us. You want to also know what will stop you from achieving those results. So that ahead of time, you need whatever will stop you in the board and stop it from stopping you. Is very, very important. So you cannot have employees in your organization without you knowing critically each time, each day, what everyone is contributing. And then you want to identify team buy-ins. And here it says, blessed is an organization, or blessed is that business whose employees get her vision and have the capacity for the vision. But even more blessed is that business if her employees desire the vision. So it's not enough to sit with somebody and interview the person to come and work in your organization. You want to know, what are the things you want to know? Where is the employee going? So you want to ask them where they are going. And you want to also know from them how they have figured that your organization will help them get there. So you want to establish alignment. And where there is alignment of purpose, there's always a buy-in. It's easy to have a buy-in. So people will now buy into your company's mission. They will buy into your company's goals. And it will be easy to get them to function. Every other thing will come with ease. So it's very important. Now you want to also set KPIs and OKRs. So we're talking about setting SMART goals. You cascade the goals to the team. Individuals should set aligning weekly and daily SMART goals. Very, very important. I can tell you, this has done a whole lot for me and my company as a whole. Every day, we start the day with a set of SMART goals. And every day, we end it with how much of our SMART goals have we achieved. And it is such that these SMART goals align with, or these daily SMART goals contribute to the weekly goal, which is part of the monthly goal, which is also a part of the quarterly goal that has been made to be part of the overall year's goal. So we come up every day to check how well have we done today. How many of our goals, the goals we set, did we achieve? You want to know, and you want to measure in terms of results, key performance indicators, and you want to see how these key performance indicators contribute to the overall organizational key results or objective key results. You want to know these, and every employee needs to know it. When you have this, it's so easy to know who is not working and who is working. So every employee know the KPIs they are reporting, and of course the results are glaring to everyone, no bias and all of that. So you need to, amongst all these other things we have set as some of the ways you can, begin to set KPIs and OKRs. You want to have a way of reporting them, and you can use softwares like Asana, like Trello, like Slack, Microsoft Teams, WhatsApp, Telegram. You can have any of these as a platform where your teams can be reporting their daily, their weekly, and their monthly goals for everyone to see and for measurability to be possible. You want to also build trust and psychological safety. You want to set an environment where everyone is safe. You say they do well where they feel safe. If they do not trust each other, they cannot work as a team. Trust is very, very important. As a business owner, as a manager, okay, sorry, I just saw someone say KPI. What does it mean? Okay, so KPI means key performance indicator. What is the indication that this person is doing well? How do I really know that this person is doing well? You must be able to say it and put it in measurable forms. You put your key performance indicator. And then the OKR is objective key results, objectives and key results. You want to know overall, what's the overall objective of the organization and of the team? What results do we want to achieve? And how much of these results will the individual contribute? And when you're able to tell what the individuals are contributing, that becomes your KPI, the key performance indicator. So if they are able to achieve it, that shows that they're achieving it. That's why we call it an indicator. Thank you for that. Though I mentioned it, maybe you missed it while I was talking. So they do well where they feel safe. If your team don't feel safe, if they feel witch hunted, if they feel that you're not taking everybody at the same level, you're giving preferences to certain people, if they feel that you're injecting some level of gossips here and there in the system, some of them would not, in fact, not some, all of them would not feel safe working. And you don't want to have people in your team who internally are not happy, who internally are feeling spited, are feeling segregated, and not loved or whatever. So you want to set up that space, a space that allows them, be free. So these are some of the ways that you could have your people feel safe. Of course, you foster trust, you promote open communication, you want to encourage active listening, you want to, bring up things that would make everybody to be free with everybody, and you make sure you handle everyone on the same measurement and on the same scale. Let there be equity, let there be fairness and justice. And of course, you encourage inclusion and diversity without any form of preferential treatment to any sect. You want to promote effective communication. And we say in building a high performance team, communication is key. Of course, when we can't even communicate and communicate well, how do we even work as a team? So you want to teach your people, you train your people to think before they speak. You don't encourage people just talking anyhow without giving recourse to the other person's feelings and how they will take it. You want to encourage them to be available. You want to teach them how to, teach them time management, all those other things that helps a team to run smoothly. Like the third point here, we say practice wait time. You know, working as a team, people will be needing, I'll be needing something from you, you'll be needing something from me, and the tendency to push it on my desk and want it right that minute will be there. And then the tendency for me to think that this thing you're wanting right away cannot be, you know, given to you right away because I'm handling something. And then you are insisting I give it to you right away. The tendency to raise your voice will be there. And then the person bringing it is like, why is he shouting, or why is she shouting at me? And all of those little things that will come in and inject strife into the system. You don't want it. So we want to practice wait time, teach the entire team to understand, okay, I want this done. Is it urgent? Is it important? Is it urgent? Is it important and urgent? Is it important but not urgent? Is it urgent and not urgent and not important? You want to be able to, you know, put things in their right perspective so that you give them their appropriate, you know, attention. So there are a whole lot here because of our time. But of course, the recording will be shared with you, so you go and digest all of it, all the ways that, all the things that your team needs to, you know, begin to practice to be able to know that they are getting it right with communicating as a team, because communication is very important. And then you want to manage people's strengths. You want to, you know, of course, you employ first of all for strengths. Employ for strength, identify the strength and employ people with these strengths. And then you want to manage these individual strengths. So you apply individual strengths to achieve the team's overall goals. You assign team projects based on strengths. I remember this very funny thing where I worked. You know, I once worked somewhere, and somehow I grew on the ladder to the point where I was a management staff. And we had this task. We had this task that was given to one of us, the management team, to handle. And he was not able to deliver for whatever reasons I wouldn't be able to tell. But he wasn't able to deliver. And I remember that our boss then, you know, calling the person's attention and saying, I think you cannot deliver on this. Go give this thing to somebody else to deliver. And then we had this management meeting where one of the things we were to discuss was to agree on who to hand this task to for him to go and deliver. And then names were to be suggested, and somebody suggested a name. And by every standard, I knew that person lacked not even one of the skills to deliver on that task. So, and it's very obvious to even the blind in the system. So I had to ask him, because he was sitting right beside me, and I said, how come you're mentioning this person? You know he will not be able to deliver, you know? And whether he lost that whole composure at that time or lost, I don't know, I wouldn't tell exactly what happened to him. Maybe he wasn't aware, but he just told me clearly, Mrs. Etuk, leave him, let him go and fail. And I was wondering, excuse me, what did you just say? So you're bringing somebody in because you want the person to fail on that task. That means you hate the organization. Because I'm thinking that for this task, you want this task to be done. And we are seated here to take a decision on who to select to go and handle this task. So why give it to somebody you know will not even, does not have the strength to be able to achieve the results that we're looking for? And then he tells me, leave him, let him fail. You know, so I don't know, but eventually I discovered that they felt bad. They felt bad that our boss looked at them as not being able to do it. So if they cannot do it, no other person should be able to do it. So you don't want to have a team like that. And unfortunately for a lot of us, we have employees who feel that way. So when you give them tasks, and maybe you think they're not doing well, you want to take the task and hand it over to another person, they feel spited. And they would want to ensure that that person never succeeds there. So you want to be on top of your game with managing your team, to be sure that you're putting square pegs in square holes, round pegs in round holes, and you are getting it right from the very beginning by employing for strengths. So manage individual strengths. resolve conflicts and manage challenges. For every team, there will be conflicts. In fact, conflicts, as far as I'm concerned, make us better. Conflicts make us understand ourselves better. They make us understand this person's likes and dislikes, and they're able to help us, help one another. So, but when we don't manage conflicts well, the same conflicts, it's like two sides of the coin. The same conflicts will destroy the system. The same conflicts will make that system underperform in a manner that could destroy the entire company. So you want to manage conflicts well by acknowledging that conflicts and challenges are inevitable in the team, and then you provide strategies for effective resolution of conflicts and all of that. So we want to quickly, we've looked at definition of high performing teams. We've also looked at strategies, 10 key strategies. And for any of those 10 strategies we have defined or presented to you, that you have seen that you're going to score yourself low there, and you think you need help, we are available. You can reach out to us to see how we can help you. This is so that we leave this place and go and begin to have high performing teams and deliver results and make our businesses grow. So we've seen the strategy. We've seen the definition. Sustain. We will see how to sustain them. And how do we sustain high performing teams? Please, if you're still following me, let me have the yes, yes, yes on the chat box so I know I'm not alone. Can I have the yes? Okay. NSC Abu, your hand is raised. I don't know if you're raising it for the question or you're raising it as a way of saying yes, but there'll be a time for Q&A, and all those who have questions can begin to write their questions down. When we get to the Q&A section, you can put in your questions, or we give you the opportunity to unmute yourself and ask your questions. Hopefully all questions will be answered. Thank you so very much, everyone. So we're going to move straight on to look at sustaining a culture of high performance. But then before we move on to, I have a short, very short, nothing particular about the video, but I want you to listen carefully at the watch carefully and tell me what you have picked as a way of one of the ways of sustaining a culture of high performance. So this is the video. If you can see the video, please say yes. If you can see the video, please say yes. I'm going to click for it to play immediately. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so I'll play the video right away. It's a very short one. And please listen and then tell me what points you got from there as a way of building high performance or sustaining a high performance culture. Okay.
My name's John Fowley, and I'm the head of high performance at Think Place. I was a swimming coach for 14 years at the Australian Institute of Sport, and then decided to do something completely different when we started a family. And so I found myself now working at Think Place. High performance is about a group of highly skilled people with a clear sense of purpose that can achieve high quality outcomes over a long period of time. One of the things that we're doing now that's really exciting is actually bringing high performance coaching together with design thinking. So it's really a world first. We bring the two worlds together and take people through a design process, but through a high performance lens. One of the things that was great about working in the Olympic sport is waking up every day and going to work with people that want to make their lives better, but we're actually working with people that want to make the world better.
Okay, that's the video. Did you get it, or you want me to play it again? Did you get the video? If you did, say yes. Let me know.
Yes, we got it. At least I got it.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Oh, someone is asking for it to be played again. Okay. Let me see if I can play it again. Okay, so it's a short one, so I'll replay the video.
My name's John Fowler, and I'm the head of high performance at Think Place. I was a swimming coach for 14 years at the Australian Institute of Sport, and then decided to do something completely different when we started a family. And so I found myself now working at Think Place. High performance is about a group of highly skilled people with a clear sense of purpose that can achieve high quality outcomes over a long period of time. One of the things that we're doing now that's really exciting is actually bringing high performance coaching together with design thinking. So it's really a world first. We bring the two worlds together and take people through a design process, but through a high performance lens. One of the things that was great about working in Olympic sport is waking up every day and going to work with people that want to make their lives better, but we're actually working with people that want to make the world better.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Please, what did you get from the video? What did you get? Talking about high performance and sustaining a culture of high performance. Please, what did you get? Can you just drop in the chat box what you got? What you got? Or maybe we have 2 or 3 persons unmute themselves and tell us what they got. Who would want to go?
I'd like to go.
Okay, please unmute. Okay, you're muted already. Let's hear you.
Okay, so I got that, being a high performance team or high performing team is indicated by continuous, achieving great results over a period
Okay.
of time. So it's not a one-off, it's not a once in a while thing, it's a consistent thing. I also got that the people must create an atmosphere where the people look forward to going to work.
Beautiful.
And when they started looking at high performance and design thinking, bringing them together, they are getting people to think about how they can change the world, how they can positive impact in the world.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much. I think you practically told us everything. Nini Juve said she got work with people who have a clear sense of purpose. Beautiful. That was gotten as well. So a high performance team must be, people who work with a clear, unified, clear sense of purpose. Thank you, Nini. Ayani May said everyone was contributing. Thank you. That's true. So a high performance team, you have everybody contributing to, the growth of the system. And Efegba Ere said a high performance team is a team with the same goals and focus. Thank you. Onuwa Okoroji said working with people who have like mind or high performance and purpose matters. Thank you. Okay, someone is saying there was design thinking and ideas were always generated at the beginning of the day. Thank you for that. And Usoro Peter said, when we get people who want to better the world and not necessarily to better themselves. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I feel really excited about today's webinar and our contributions. Okay, someone said there's always the big picture. Thank you. That's very correct. And thank you, Doctor, for coming up to, tell us what you got from there. Thank you. Thank you. So we'll just go straight on to look at how we can sustain a culture of high performance. Keys to sustaining a culture of high performance. And we have 5 of them here. Number 1, of course, which has to top the list, is design thinking. Design thinking was mentioned in the video. And you can't have a high performance team who would not sit down, and part of what they think about is how we can come up with new things, new ways of doing things, and not just new things and new ways. We're looking at how what we want to do will serve our clients better, our customers better as an organization. So you can't have a high performance team and they're not focused on design thinking. So I'm asking you, does your team carry out design thinking exercises? If they are not, or if it's not, then you have work to do. The next is continuous learning and development. You have to infuse learning and development in your organization. Here in my company, we have what we call our Wednesday learning labs. Every Wednesday, we gather to learn something, because we want everybody, to consistently be learning and be informed. You want to monitor and adjust team performance is very critical. You want to celebrate success and recognize achievement. Now, if we say we are a high performing team and you're seeing every day that XYZ are contributing this and that, and they're doing so well, you want to recognize who is doing well. You want to also see who is not and be able to know how to, help them. And then the last on the list is abhor non-performance and underperformance. For where we are going, we have a set of results we want to achieve. And there's nobody, we will not permit anybody to hold us back. So, but where we don't even set a structure for high performance, how do we identify non-performance and underperformance? You want to identify them, and as a result-driven organization, you want to abhor it. You have zero tolerance for non-performance and underperformance. So we'll just quickly explain these 5 concepts or 5 keys, and we'll call it a day. Okay. So design thinking, and Charles Kettering said, if you have always done it that way, oh my God, it is probably wrong. And I always laugh when I go into organizations and we're trying to do an audit in the HR, and then you now hear things like, this is how we do it. This is how we do it here. People hold on to the old ways of doing things. This is how we collect data. This is how we collect money. This is how we write this thing. This is how, and you don't just open up your mind for newer ways of doing these things. There are newer ways, simplified ways of doing things. And if you don't sit down and, demand from yourself new ways of doing things, you hold on to the old ways, and the old ways will not serve you. It won't serve you. So it's in the place of design thinking, everything comes to the table. What is serving us? What is not serving us? How can we do things better? So by carrying out design thinking, you want to take actionable approach to tackling the world's wickedest of problems within your industry. You want to constantly put your team to the challenge your team to always come up with new ways of doing things. And then you foster user centricity, creativity, innovation, and out of the box thinking. If this is how we've been doing it, can you just step outside this box and come up with a newer way of doing things or a more innovative way, more cost-effective way, more more profitable way of doing things, so that we can achieve better results and be optimally operational as an organization. Is very important. So design thinking is number 1. Continuous learning is another. It says anyone who stops learning is old, whether at 20 or at 80. Anyone who keeps learning stays young. The greatest thing in life is to keep your mind young. And as a system, as a business, as an organization, if you stop learning, you are old. Every day, things are moving at a pace you hardly can catch up with. So you can't still be operating with the systems you were using to operate maybe like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 10 years ago, some even 20. And that is why you see businesses nosediving, because they peak and they only need innovation, learning, and continuous learning to see newer ways of doing things and then start a new journey for themselves. So learning becomes important. So you want to provide ongoing training opportunities, mentoring and coaching for your team members. You want to foster a culture of learning and innovation. So you want to see how you support your team to go for courses. You want to see how you infuse, periodic learning sessions within your organization, where you're learning how to do things better, how to serve your clients better, how to come up with newer avenues for making money and all of that. Now you want to monitor and adjust team performance, because if you don't monitor performance, you can't also call and say your team is high performing. So, but how do they grow when you do not measure? So by monitoring and adjusting team performance, you come up with ways of measuring performance. You must know how you measure, and the people you are measuring must know what you are measuring. Then regularly monitor and track the key performance indicators, the KPIs. You must give unbiased performance results, and you must adjust expectations where necessary, and then provide feedback to improve team dynamics and outcomes. That is you monitoring and adjusting team performance. It's very, very important. And of course, after monitoring and after measuring, what comes next? When you identify people that are doing well. Here in my organization, we said we have 5 classes of employees, 5. So we always want to look at ourselves. Which class do you belong? So we have the people we call the inerts, who perform way, way below expectation. We have those we call the loungers, who perform averagely. And then we have those we call the regulars at level 3, who will just give you the exact results that you demand from them. And then we have the ones that are the high performance at level 4, who will exceed, you give them this level of expectation, but then they exceed your expectation by some percentage, maybe by 50% or whatever. And then you now have the super high flyers. The super high flyers, these are people that give you your expectation in multiples. They give you like 200% result, 300% results and above. These are super high flyers. Now, when you measure, you're going to see these people very clearly. They themselves will know, because they are part of the measuring. They are also measuring themselves. And of course, when you are able to identify the super high flyers and the high flyers, please, I beg of you, celebrate them. Celebrate them. When you celebrate, you recognize them and you celebrate them, you would encourage others. You would challenge others to want to be like them. So how do you do that? You need to design strategies for recognizing milestones that are reached. You need to acknowledge team members' efforts. You need to celebrate high performers. Create career growth ladder within your organization. Please let me ask, how many of us here who run organizations have career growth ladder? Like, I come into your company today as an employee. I know at what level I'm coming in, and I see the ladder in front of me. I see that if I do well, this is where I will be moved to, and this is how I get to grow. And of course, that growth affects my salary, affects other benefits that come to me. You want to create that ladder within the system, tie it to performance, and let them see, as you implement these things, that you actually honor your word. And I tell, when a lot of employers begin to complain, who gets to fund it? I said, no, it funds itself. Because when you are recognizing a high performer, it's evident in the results, the money that has come into the company. So performance is tied to a lot of things, and it's easy to say, from the same thing you have brought into the system, we are using to elevate and to recognize you. So you tie performance to upward movement and move high performance up your career ladder. You need to do that. And then you make room for performance bonuses and give bonuses when they earn it. So don't promise and then you don't give it. It also dampens their spirit. And then finally, on the keys to sustaining a high performance culture, abhor non-performance and underperformance. And I will tell you here by saying, what you accept multiplies. So be careful not to accept mediocrity. Your business goes down and your employees will jump ship. They don't care. So when you keep accepting mediocrity, they are there with you. You're accepting the mediocrity. The irony of it all is that you are accepting the mediocrity, but they don't want to accept less salaries. You must pay them their complete salary. But you are continuing to accept mediocrity, and the business goes down. And when it goes down to a level where they feel you can't pay them anymore, they jump ship, and you are left with the empty ship. So you just have to create a hatred for non-performance. I'm using the word hatred because our businesses just have to grow. You have to create zero tolerance for non-performance in your system. So when you see somebody not performing initially, it might be because they don't understand the system. You want to help guide them. That's beautiful. But over time, you want to know at what point the guidance will stop, and then you now demand performance from them. And if they're not performing, the place cannot keep them anymore. So make positions temporary, subject to performance. That's one way you need to do it. Then you need to set acceptable standards and communicate it to your workforce, to the team. You provide coaching when necessary. You need to guide them where they need help, so that they know what is expected and they know how to do it. Then you define limits of non-performance or underperformance. You want them to know at what point you can't take underperformance and non-performance anymore. And then keep no one when they are consistently underperforming and not improving. Keep no one. Whether they are your brother or they are your cousin or they are your in-laws, keep no one when they are underperforming, Don't even think twice about it. Your business is set up for results, and that result is what you must get. So I would be concluding. But before I conclude, let me still be sure that network has not kicked myself or you out. Can you please just put the yes on the chat box for me to know we are still together? Can you put the yes in the chats? Okay, thank you. Yeah, I am happy to know that we are still together. Okay, so I'll just be concluding. How far have we come on this webinar? We've looked at what high performance team means. We've looked at the characteristics and benefits of high performance to both organizations and members of the team. We've also seen the strategies for building high performance, and we shared with you 10 key strategies. And I said, please go back and check. If any part of those 10 strategies you do not have, you are not implementing right now, and you also don't even know, even though we have given you how to go about it, you just cannot figure it out, please don't remain the same. You can give us a call. I can ask a member of the team to drop our number. Let's one of us drop the number and our email in the chat box. You can reach out to us if you think you need help with developing a high performance team. We've also looked at ways of sustaining it. So when you develop it, you have to sustain it. And we saw the 5 ways of sustaining a high performance team. So I want you to know. So that is our number. Please put the Nigerian code because we have people outside of Nigeria here with us. Put the Nigerian code with the number so they can reach us. Yes. Let's have the number with the code. Yeah. So it says here that managing a business is both a science and an art. It's both a science because it's empirical, and then it's an art. And managing team performance is a tall order. How much of it do you know? That's the question I want to leave with you today. How much of it do you know? I'll leave you with that question. And that question brings us to the end of the session. But then I would not leave us without also giving us a ray of hope that should you also want to take this webinar a little further by now bringing your team to set KPIs and OKRs and all that, and you think you would need help with that, I want to introduce you to Bloom. This is just a video, a 1-minute video. So you see what Bloom is all about. Bloom is our own way of helping organizations, manage individual performance. So please kindly watch this. Yeah. Okay, that's just Bloom for you. In case you want to begin to think of how to, start the KPI and OKR things with your workforce, we have Bloom at different packages. But what has been shared with you is the lowest of the packages, depending on the number within your team. So Bloom is one way we help organizations that cannot manage their team's performance by themselves. It's one way of helping them. So we come, we get to know where you are with your team, and we are able to help you set those goals and measure them. So with Bloom, we help organizations, get all their employees to deliver results on a daily basis. And these results are cascaded in a manner that everybody's performance contributes to your overall goal. So that's us helping to support your growth and building thriving businesses. So on that note, we come to the end of today's session. But of course, I know we have some of us who have questions. And so I'll just say thank you at this point, and give us room to ask questions. But please, as the questions begin to